Ooh, almost dropped the pamphlet. Let me keep you right here. Significant Other is a 2022 American science fiction horror film that has been written and directed by Dan Dirk and Robert Olson. While on a remote backpacking trip through the Pacific Northwest, a young couple sense that they may not be alone. As things take a dark turn, they find that there is no one to trust, not even each other.
Like myself.
This movie was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, man. I wanted to give this movie a lot of love, especially when it comes to science fiction, alien activity, abnormal behavior. One of the major things I like about films like this when it comes to psychological horror and science fiction, projects like this, it was my wife's idea for us to watch this film. We was bored. We was on Wisconsin. We was in Wisconsin Dells on our New Year's Eve day off, and we wanted to watch something horrific with with her family, and we ended up checking out this movie, Significant Other. It wasn't disappointing, but I feel like every single element of critique behavior in this film was lacking a lot of pacing. That's the only thing I did not like about this film, was the fact that good story, but rushed it. Good character development, but rushed it. Good payoff, but not enough for us to be invested. It was, but it shouldn't be surprising because a lot of horror films do this. I just wish that this film wasn't into that same trope. The movie picks up at a pretty quick pace. The movie starts where it shows the forest that the couple was gonna come, that is about to go to, and all of a sudden we see like a red meteor about to crash land. We don't know if it's a life form. We don't know if it's if it's like an environmental structure about to fuck up the whole entire atmosphere. But we do know as the project continues, and as this couple like goes into a diner and they're just talking, and we begin to get dialogue with these two characters, this is when we begin to get one of the workers to tell them, did you see that shit? Did you see that that meteor that hit the forest or whatever? I know that was to build tension, but I feel as if we don't know, then we don't fucking care. We don't, I mean, it was supposed to build suspense, but only if we know what we're getting ourselves into. I feel as if they should have showed like a character or a few characters that was in this forest before them to witness what happens when you go to this forest. To show a warning like that without us knowing what's to come is not really a good way for us to be like fully immersed and fully pulled into the atmospheric message of us being like, you know what, this may not be a good idea. What I'm saying is it didn't build fear to us. All I felt was curious of what was to come when it came to them going into this forest. Let's talk about the pacing of these two characters. Mika Monroe, that play as Ruth. Why your name gotta be Ruth? Oh, just a witch I know personally. Anyway, and then Jake Lacey is Harry. The pacing of them, we know enough to be invested, but not enough to care. These two characters seem too good to be true when it comes to them communicating, when it comes to them sticking together, and above all, just their communication skills of them just having their balance of right and wrong. Now, what I mean by too good to be true is that whenever they have a question, whenever they have a concern, or whenever they have like a certain like non-sure situation happen to them, Jake, that play as Harry, would always have a solution, and Ruth would go for it. As the performance of these characters, I liked them a lot. I felt like their drive was cool, and it was enough for me to get the whole entire story premise, like me being entertained. But at the same time, I didn't care for these characters, especially when it came to them actually having these debates and having these conflictual arguments about Ruth's problems with her family and why she is afraid to get married, and Harry is not pressuring her to do it but just trying to get her out of that fear aspect just so she can just live her own life. And then at the same time, Ruth is literally just fighting back of just saying that he's too pushy. You're being an asshole, mind your own fucking business. This is an argument again. I can't really feel like I'm taking sides because I don't know what the hell they're talking about. All we know, as soon as the movie starts, them just going to this forest and them just arguing when they're there. They should have gave us 30 minutes or at least 15 minutes of them like packing up, talking, meeting the family, and then going there so we can at least know the character development as the whole story continues. This is two characters that's given us two survival tactic signs of what to do when you're under pressure. I had the same conversation with my father when I fell in the water when I was overseas, and he said I should be panicking, I should be, I was jet skiing, and I told him, even though I'm afraid of water, it's the biggest fear ever, I have to be calm because I'm literally in the worst state possible. I'm saying that to say this. People can question how people can survive, but as long as you keep a steady head, in the worst case scenario, you're doing fine, bro. I feel like Harry's character of him trying to control Ruth was good. I didn't have a problem with it at all. I just felt as if when you trying to be in situations like this, when everybody agrees and when everybody disagrees, that's when I begin to be like, okay, y'all are not acting realistic right now. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few people that may want to do their own thing. But with these two characters, they had a question, another one had a solution. And when it came to the solution being unfolded, they still survived. And that's what I like about films like this, is that you have to be calm when it comes to being around activity like this that you're not aware of. But I can't say I don't blame Ruth's character, because the shit they showed on this damn project was pretty traumatizing. Like certain signs, certain sounds, certain animals would flip out, and it made you wonder, is this really alien activity? Is there something in the forest? Is it hallucination, environmental things going on? It gave me feels of annihilation when these characters would go into this forest, but you already knew what the fuck was going on because they explained it as the project continues. But when it comes to significant other, you're shooting blind. So that kind of add fear into the whole thing that kind of almost paid off, and to me and the viewers and my wife that was watching. What I also loved about the film too is that when something dark happens to Marilyn Monroe's character, you get into a questionable aspect of what happened to her character, what happened to her when she witnessed a certain thing in the whole project, and then she does something very, very fucked up that made me feel as if, what the fuck is going on? But then a whole 180 happens, a big twist happens, and then it's like, okay, this all makes sense now. So I liked it how they was able to fuck up the viewer's mindset and keep us going for a little bit, and they just give us a whole 180, and the whole entire film actually changed, in my opinion. I feel like the whole film got better when it came to that little half and then explaining it as a whole project continues, and it gave me a good vision aspect of just who to root for. But that's not saying much because I feel like to do a twist, to do like a whole 180 into the whole plot of the whole story, again, build up, payoff, character development, and above all, having it all linked together so we can be fully invested in the project, needs to be strong. When you do a twist into a story that we know little about, into characters that we don't know much about, the twist will make us want to be more invested, but we won't be more attached. We're going to be more further away for us to fully care about what's really going on. At that point, I just wanted to see how the whole film was going to end. The film ended all right. It didn't end, it ended with a little bit of a cliffhanger, but I feel as if a film that's a science fiction horror film, mostly they always end with cliffhangers, like a continuation of suspense. But I feel as if there was all cliffhangers when it comes to pacing in this film, so I wasn't disappointed. But at the same time, I feel like a film like this could have really done better and stopped, and just held its punches and just took its time with this project, because I feel like if they would have took time with the pacing, if they would have took time with the character development and just gave us a good polished story so everything would pay off, this would be a film that everybody will be talking about. In fact, I probably would have been seeing this in 2022, but when this movie came out, no one talked about it, and I'm pretty sure people who saw it probably would agree with what I'm saying. Overall, this movie was okay. It wasn't a bad film, it wasn't a great film, But this is a film that was pretty entertaining when it comes to killing the time and just seeing the attributic sci-fi thriller into a forest. I haven't seen a sci-fi film based on like camping and forest activity ever. I have not. I'm pretty sure there's probably films like that's like this. But I feel like if you want to see something like this, or if you have seen something like this and it disappointed you, watch Annihilation. Just watch Annihilation. Then you will understand my frustration about this film. I will say this film is based on forest activity, but they had a lot of like scenes where a lot of shit was going on. I'm gonna have to give Significant Other a C. 2 down, 2 to go. Well, guys, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher, and I hope you all have a good day.